Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are kicking off our ICAP webinar series again. We did this last year in March, and so had a lot of good feedback, and because of that feedback, we just wanted to bring it back to you. So my name is Chelsea Hunt. I am the Career Pathway Strategy Lead for the New Skills for Youth grant at the State Department of Education. Really just want to give you what the purpose of these webinars are about. And today is more like an introductory webinar. We will be talking about ICAP, of course. It'll be a brief overview and then just some of the resources and things that we have going forward. But wanted to kind of set the tone of how these webinars will be going forward. Again, these webinars will just be able to highlight what some of our ICAP pilot school districts have done, some of their successes, some of their challenges, how are they starting to implement ICAP within their school districts, within their master schedules, within their daily plans. And then also I want to make sure that you get feedback from various business and community members and then some of our internal and external stakeholders so that you have information when it comes to career advising, information when it comes to counseling, information when it comes to alternative education and special education. So it'll be a plethora of different guest speakers who will be joining us, but today I just wanted to set the tone and really talk about ICAP and just do an introductory of all of this webinar series that, again, we are excited that you're here with us and we're excited to kick off once again. So today's webinar, what we'll focus on is an overview of ICAP. We will focus on the ICAP pilot study and just kind of give you information from what's happened over the couple of years since that study has been going. We'll touch note on Oklahoma Career Expo Week, our Student Success Summit, and maybe you were able to join, and if not, this will be a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit of what happened at that event. And then I will wrap it up with our ICAP resources and then showcase our next upcoming webinar. So today, to begin with, an overview of ICAP. What is ICAP? ICAP is that fond term that we say, but it stands for Individual Career Academic Planning. It really is a career development model that is intentional about connecting students' interests, their passions, their skills with both the career, academic, and post-secondary opportunities that are available for them. What I like about ICAP is that it is being focused and mindful about including parents and family engagement. And it's really saying that it's not just on one person's shoulders, it's going to take everyone, a whole community, whole school concept for us all to have this holistic approach for our students to be successful, to know what they want to do while in high school so that once they graduate, they know if they're going to the workforce, they know if they're going to military, post-secondary, or even to a career tech. So that is giving them a little bit more guidance there and hopefully some fun ways and a little structure and some strategies, but both recognizing that our districts have already done so many good things, we are just giving them a model to go with it. Our ICAP vision, it really is to ensure that all students have that opportunity and the support that they need to be successful to secure that post-secondary or industry certification that aligns with their passions and their skills. If you have not seen this, this is what is called the Oklahoma Workforce Skills Gap. The goal really is that by 2025, 70% of residents aged 25 to 64 will have education or training beyond high school. In 2016, they had an educational attainment, just a study done, and it showcased that 46% received, in this age range of 25 to 64, received a high school diploma. 30% an associate/credential, 16 a bachelor's, and 8% a graduate. Well, if we look at the year 2025, which is approaching us very shortly, in reference to new jobs, jobs that may have not even been created yet, we see that for a high school diploma, it's really cut in half, that it's 24%. And then 45% will need more of an associate's or certification. So really what this graph is saying is that for the individuals who want to go straight into the workforce, a high school diploma will no longer suffice. You will need to have an associate's or a certificate or beyond to be able to walk through the doors to be in the workforce. So we have a lot of individuals who are coming together in the realms of workforce, in the realms of State Department, education, chambers, just having this dialogue. What does it look like with the workforce skills gap? How do we get our students connected again, and how do we close this gap? And so ICAP is really one of those ways that can help close the gap. And so we are excited of what the possibilities will be once it gets implemented in 2019-2020. So why use ICAP? There is a national study. All today, I'm not going to be able to show you certain videos because you won't have sound. However, there are links in here so you can always click on it, come back to it for your reference. And before I continue, I forgot to mention that this webinar will be recorded and archived on our website, our State Department of Education website, so you can find it there. And then also, if you have any questions for today, I will be being mindful to check the chat, so just type it into the chat and I will get with you as soon as possible, but I will also take questions at the end. So why use ICAP? Back to that. Well, Dr. Solberg, he did a study basically in Colorado, and it shows in each state they term ICAPs differently. So in Colorado, they term it and phrase it individual learning plans. So in Colorado, it was reporting that students' engagements in the individual learning plans, what we call ICAP, resulted in higher graduation rates and reductions in teen pregnancy. It was really nice to see this study from a national level, and it gives hope to what will happen in the state of Oklahoma once ICAP is implemented. So that's a good little article for you just to read and see how things are doing, and it's also to show you how other states are doing it as well. Just as a reminder, Oklahoma was one of 10 states who received the New Skills for Youth J.P. Morgan Chase grant. So it's always been nice to glean from each other state to see how they're doing this, how they're implementing this, and growing with each other. So requirements for ICAP, this correlates with the House Bill 2155. Some have termed that the ICAP bill, and basically it states that what's required in form of an ICAP is that it has to have the career and college interest surveys, written post-secondary and workforce goals, and showing progress towards those goals, an intentional sequence of courses that students are taking towards academic progress, also showcasing scores on the college and career readiness assessment, and experience in service learning and our work environment. Some of that is termed work-based learning, so that would be the summation, of job shadowing, mentorship, internship, apprenticeships, pre-apprenticeship. So that's the language when I say work-based learning, that's what it means. It encompasses all of that. Just by denoting this, the one thing that the law says that for the ninth graders entering into 2019-2020, that's what it'll go effect for our ninth graders. So that's our 8th grade class right now, our future 2023 graduating class. And it'll be required each year that they annually renew their ICAP. The one that's not an annual renewal, that's that experience in service learning and our work environment. That really is a one-time thing, but it's always good to give students that exposure in any form or fashion necessary. And I will share with you one aspect of an in-service learning that students are able to participate right now in. With ICAP, it really is a mind shift. I'm just going to read this quote to you because I just like how it phrases it. There is an opportunity to shift our model from a transactional focus of helping students find jobs to a transformative focus of helping our students find themselves and how they want to engage with the world. So let's transition into our ICAP pilot study. In our ICAP pilot group, we had some requirements for those who participated starting in the 2017-2018 school year, and then also continuing on into the 2018-2019 school year. One of the requirements was that they have to choose an online tool and schedule a training for their district site. We have 3 online tools that are being utilized within the pilot study. The 2 free online tools is OK Career Guide and OK College Start, and the one that some districts, it's not a free tool, but some districts had already been using this tool, so it's just adding on to what the resources they had, and that's Naviance. A second requirement is to commit to provide the parent nights both in the fall and in the spring. And that's really good because it's focusing again on having that parent and family engagement, which is so vital in our student success. The third requirement was commit to attending monthly ICAP team webinars. They each had to form a team. They had an ICAP designee, or they have, we're still in the second phase. I should speak present tense. So they have to have an ICAP designee who really is the liaison between the State Department and the school district. And then within that team, they have a counselor, they have a parent, they have a business community member, they have a parent, and they have a student. And so that really is their ICAP team. And those monthly webinars are really just always geared towards a certain sector. So if it's counselors, then it's specifically counselors, parents, students, etc. Another requirement is commit to responding to online surveys. And then also the final requirement is participate in focus groups and interviews which are available. What is good about this is we have an outside evaluator from the University of Oklahoma who is really ensuring the progress of the study. And so from the first year of the pilot study, what they found out was that some of the school districts really felt like ICAP should start earlier than just in the 9th grade. And I should have mentioned some of our ICAP pilot schools, what they had to do, they had to choose what grade range they wanted. So some of them are doing it 6th grade all the way up to 9th grade, all the way up, to 12th grade. And so it's been nice to see a mixture of what it looks like in middle school compared to what it looks like in high school and how you can intertwine that into your schedules. And so some of those districts were saying that it really should start earlier, starting in the 6th grade, and some even felt earlier than that. So it's nice to see feedback like that. That's what's been very helpful. So we even have focus groups that we're formulating right now for our 2nd year of the study to really get what are those best practices, how does this look when it's a rural compared to a large school district, how can you implement certain things, what are the challenges, the successes, and how can we overcome some of these barriers that may be some barriers to access even in that aspect. Okay, so the next couple of slides I'm going to go through a little quickly, but this is just really to highlight those who have participated, the school districts who participated and are currently participating in the ICAP pilot study. In the year 2017-18, we had 28 districts and 59 school sites participate. So this just shows you them. And again, you will have access, I didn't mention this, but you will have access to this PowerPoint later on. So if I go too fast, you will have a chance to come back and again check out those links that I mentioned earlier. Here's the 2018-2019. We now have a total of 74 districts and 134 sites who are participating in the ICAP pilot study. So this is the first kind of segment of them. Here's the second segment of districts who are participating. And what it was been nice to see from our 2nd year is that we have more rural Oklahoma schools participating. So I'm looking forward to gleaning from their experience and seeing what they think were challenges or even successes from that perspective. As earlier I mentioned about our ICAP pilot study being an outside evaluator. So this link right here, Dr. Robert Terry, he is overseeing the evaluation team for us at OU. And this will link to a handout that really just shows what is the study results, what has come from the first year of the study. We will be working on that information for the 2nd year as we're still just stepping into that progress, that point right now. But feel free to look at that. It's really good stuff and has perspective from a district level of what were their challenges, again, what were their successes. So we come back to the how. How can ICAP be implemented within your school districts? There are many methods that school districts are taking and have taken during the study to start implementing the ICAP within their district. One way is providing a brown bag lunch session. This is a good opportunity. You can have a business or community members come to your classroom during lunchtime. Your students will pack their own lunch and they'll actually get to hear from them. How did they become who they are? Why did they choose the career field that they chose? Do they like their job? What subjects in school did they have to take? So just really having that opportunity to connect on that aspect. Another thing is advisory class. really having the opportunity for your advisory class to get connected with even community members and business members and even school personnel to really say, okay, this is ICAP. It's coming down the pipeline. How can we structure this best for our district? What are the students saying, and how do we get them involved, and how do we make sure that parent and family engagement is involved? So that's been good ways that districts have been involved with that. Another way is utilizing community partners. There are various community partners who are already connected with some of our ICAP pilot districts, because remember I said earlier that they had to have a business and community member on their team. So it's been very nice to see that perspective and see how they even got to have that partnership together in the first place, and how it's looking like now and how to continue it outside of the study once it's over. And then another thing is our providing student-led parent conferences. This is really allowing that parent and family engagement. Students are bringing their parents along with them to these conferences, and they're really taking that action between the parent and teacher conference. It's really having the student in the room now and having them accountable and them talking and connecting and really getting the parent also more involved in their academic progress. This video, I really like to highlight what our school districts are doing. In this video, if I was able to show it, please go and watch it because it's an Elevate story. It's highlighting Mustang public schools, and several of our Oklahoma high schools, they're already giving their students a taste of adulthood with a full day devoted to the next steps after graduation. And so this video showcases what Mustang Public Schools has done. This is their second year in the year of hosting a student conference. And so what is nice is that they are getting students outside of their classrooms. So a local church has hosted the event for them. They have various business and community members coming in to speak to the students on the topics of financial literacy. What does it look like to choose a career path? What does it look like to pay your bills and pay them on time? And how do you even do scholarships and all of that, a plethora of things. And it brings the community in as well into the aspect of some community members have donated free food. And that's just building that, again, that whole community, whole school, pouring into our students. And so this is just something that school districts are, the word is spreading about it. So this may be something that you want to start doing within your district, and it might be small, and that's okay because it can build to something bigger than what you maybe even imagined. So Oklahoma Career Expo Week, I want to transition to that. And Oklahoma Career Expo Week, it really is a week-long event which connects students of all ages with businesses to explore the in-demand career options in the state's most vital industries. It's a week-long event, and various career techs and higher ed and businesses open their doors so that students can come and just have those industry tours and see if their desire and their passion to be maybe a welder, what does it look like when you're actually at the job? And so it's nice to see that happen. This year, and it happened last year. This year was November 12th through the 16th of 2018, and it did occur in 2017 as well. But this year, we were able, as the State Department of Education, to partner with the Oklahoma Office of Workforce Development and actually host some virtual tours in the classroom. And this is a feature from one of our new online learning communities that will be made available really shortly to you. If you were at the Student Success Summit, you were actually got an opportunity to see this live and get connected. And so we have 7 industry leaders. The industry range from manufacturing to engineering and energy, even healthcare, and they were just speaking to our students to showcase how they became the person they are today. It was nice. I was able to watch in on some of these videos, and one of the speakers, he was just talking about how he was not really good at math, but in his job that he's in manufacturing, how vital math is and how it even connects and applies. And so it was really good to see. He was saying to our students that might not have been my favorite subject, however, I use it on a daily basis. We had 8 school districts who participated virtually. Atoka, Millwood, Norman, Okmulgee, Poto, Shawnee, Tahlequah, and Tuttle. They all had an opportunity to talk to our industry leaders in their classroom. And what's good about this feature is that it hosts up to 100 classrooms, so it's just not one district can see this. A lot of districts can benefit from this. And just ask ask the business and community members, again, how did you become the person you are today? One thing that I noticed, a good takeaway, is that not all of our school districts have webcams. And so I've been talking with others and saying this is a good way to have business and community partnerships in that aspect of maybe providing webcams. Of course, it goes beyond just that, but that is a need. But also to see that some of our adults, and I told the adults it's okay, keep talking, even though they were nervous because they couldn't see any students. The students were able to still, they were there, they were just typing in the room on the chat box. And so it was nice to see this opportunity made available. We are currently working on the dates for the 2019 Oklahoma Career Expo Week. We are even in discussions about having maybe something like a mini Career Expo Week in the fall and then do the big one in the spring. All of those details are being worked out, but I will be promoting that as soon as I have more details to share with you. I always like to showcase who you can contact with if you have questions about Oklahoma Career Expo Week. You can contact Sarah Ashmore, who is currently the Oklahoma Works Coordinator, or you can contact myself, and if I might not know the answer, I will get you plugged in with Sarah, and we will get an answer for you. But I always like to showcase your contacts for that. Now I want to transition over into the Student Success Summit. And with the Student Success Summit, we had this on January 17th and 18th. The first day was really focused on individual career academic planning, what's right for your district. And so this right here just shows you the full overview of breakout sessions that were available. What was nice to see is that a majority of our breakout sessions were filled to capacity, and some of them were overflowing on capacity. I know, for instance, on the implementing ICAP into the master schedule, the school district who shared that session was getting questions on, can we come visit your school site, and how do you do this? And so good information. And again, the purpose was having our ICAP pilot school districts speak back to the districts who have not even been in the study or maybe haven't even heard what ICAP is. So this was truly, this couple of days was open for all school districts within the state of Oklahoma. I know we did reach capacity really fast. So I will have, you'll see in a couple of slides that you will have some links to access those presentations and PowerPoint so that even if you weren't in the room, you're able to see what came from it and glean from them and even connect with the person who presented a particular session. I want to highlight this. For our first day, we had a student panel, and so we had school districts from Millwood, and it was a mixture of school districts, higher ed, and career tech. We had Francis Tuttle represented, Shawnee High School, Norman North, Duncan High School, Pryor High School, and Moore Norman, and then also Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. And so this is just to show you the students who were there and participated. They were asked questions on what do you know your chosen career path? How did you come upon that career path? What's your next steps after high school? Where are you going? What is one thing that you want to change? What do you want to do? So it was nice to see just their different perspectives. And the next thing was day two, and day two was a little different. It was really focused on forging business and education partnerships that work. So on this day, we really asked our ICAP pilot districts, we asked them to truly, again, be the experts in the room and bring in their partnerships already with their business and communities and speak to the districts on how did you get connected? Where do you even start? What does that look like? And so this is the day two, just showing you an overview of the sessions. One thing that we are working on right now, and in the session that I presented on, which was business education partnerships, is a business and education partnership toolkit to really help answer those questions. How do I get started? What does this look like? Who's my local workforce development executive director, because we have 7 workforce regions. Who's a part of my chamber in my local region? What about higher ed and all of that? So this toolkit has been a partnership between higher ed, career tech, tribal nations, K-12, workforce, business community, and the list continues. So it's been nice to see them form, and so we're just wrapping up on some things to get that into your hands as soon as possible so that you can start building those connections with business and community. And this is just to show you our business. On day 2, we had a business and education panel. It ranged from experience from higher ed, career tech, K-12, and also just workforce and business and industry. So that's just to see our list of our panelists. So they all did an excellent job, and I'm very grateful for all of them participating. So if you want to get plugged in and you didn't have an opportunity to attend the Student Success Summit, first of all, if you did attend, we would like your feedback. There is a survey for day 1 and day 2, very different since one was focused on ICAP districts, what's right for your district, and one was focused on business and forging those partnerships. So there's 2 different surveys. If you could please complete those. We really would love your feedback because this helps us as we move forward in different conferences and workshops and getting ready for training. Districts who have maybe not heard of ICAP, this helps us know how to make sure that we include sessions that are relevant and applicable for you. If you didn't get a chance to participate, but you want to see what it was all about, if you click here, there's a full listing of the presentations. So once I mentioned earlier about how to implement ICAP into your master schedule, maybe you wanted to check out who did that presentation and what does that really look like. You're able to just click on that link and find all of the presentations. It's a Google Drive, and it's broken up by day 1 and day 2, so just be mindful of that. Also, you're able to see on the second link, any of the photos that were taken at this event. We did on the first day, day 1, we had over 350 people attend, and on day 2, we had over 250. So it truly was a good, successful event, but we also recognize that not every school district was able to attend, so this is one way to kind of get connected with you as we begin to as we begin to get our trainings established and ready for you. So now I want to really transition to our last segment of this webinar, which is called our ICAP Resources. And then I will proceed into a Q&A because I want to give some time for any questions that you may have. So one of our questions that we have right now, and just a side note too, we do have an favorite asked questions for internships and what does that look like, how do you code it. So that is just right currently into our communications, and we will have that ready for you very soon. But one question that we do get asked is, what are ways to connect students to growing positions? And one way to do that is by using our online learning community. This allows educators to provide students with quick and easy resources in one convenient location. It even allows parents to come and even speak to business and community. And then there's a section all for students to get exposure to this careers that are in high skill, high demand, and even watch videos from various individuals who went to an Oklahoma high school, graduated from an Oklahoma university or career tech, and then is working in an Oklahoma position workforce, and just speaking to how they chose, again, that career path, and hopefully giving a student an opportunity to see someone who looks like them, who came from an area that they grew up in, and just to say, oh, I can be exactly who that person is, to give them that hope in that aspect. So our online learning community, you're provided here with the link to it, so you can create an account. And you're able to even, I linked it also to our website for business resources. You can check that out and see an overview video. The next slide will actually show you the overview video. I'm just not going to play it again because we won't have sound, and I want you to get the fullness of that. So after this webinar, or even during it, if you're on your computer right now, feel free to play that and listen to it as we go along. But again, the platform is really allowing communication to occur between the parents, students, educators, business, all in one place, focus on the high skill, high demand jobs, occupations that are out there. And then this right here, if you just click on the picture, it'll go straight to the overview video, and it'll highlight what this platform really is all about. Another question that we get asked is, what are ways that a student's ICAP can be monitored? One way, especially within our ICAP pilot study, and moving forward outside of that study, is using tools like OK College Start or OK Career Guide, which give access to our educators to view students' activities when it comes to ICAP. So OK Career Guide, if you're not familiar with it, one of the free online tools, again being used in our ICAP study, but is also free to those who have never participated in the study. And it's provided by the Oklahoma Department of Career Technology. And it is really a career exploration tool connecting with those growing industries out there, financial aid resources, scholarships, a whole plethora of things on there. And so I provided a link right there so you can get there, get connected, and start getting plugged in. And then here is a sample report of OK Career Guide. What you'll see is that, and this is really for educators on your platform, you'll see that you can break it up by education level, ethnicity, and do just an aggregated report if you want one of those. And then the next report shows an overview. So it shows your student's name. You can even reset their password, links to their portfolio so that you can see the summary of that and all the activities they've taken towards completing their ICAP. And the next slide will just really show a summation of it. An OK Career Guide, it's called Education Plans. That's what they term as our ICAP. But also it houses the resumes, cover letters, and they can upload any documents as well. Now on to OK College Start, the second free online tool that is used throughout our study, again used to the whole general public. It is provided by the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education. This one is really a college and career explorational tool. It shows you all the universities in the state of Oklahoma. It also shows you scholarships. It even connects to Oklahoma's Promise Scholarship if you need to get your students connected that way, and transcript exchange. So a whole plethora of things there, and there's the link there for you as well. And so the report for OK College Start, just to show you, this would be the report coming from your professional center. So you're able to generate a report. They have an ICAP template that houses different activities by grade year. The same thing with Career Tech. I don't know if they have a template, but they do have it by grade year as well for your ICAP. And on this report, you can generate it, and really on the bottom level, you can see it by student. You click on that, and you can see even more details about the student, their progress on their ICAP, and all the activities that are intertwined. And then this report is just showing you more of a general view, and you can see a bar graph, and then more an overview report. So a lot of reports that you can generate from OK College Start. So again, both of them are open to the public. They are both being utilized in our ICAP pilot study, and they both can have parents engaged, adult learners engaged, and so really good, useful informational tools out there and available to you. If you need to have an online tool training within our ICAP pilot districts, we have them get trained. But if you're not an ICAP pilot district and you're ready to get trained on one of these tools and start implementing it within your district, if it's OK Career Guide, Erica Harris is your contact, and her email is provided there. And if it's OK College Start, Teresa Shackley is your contact, and her email is provided there. I know both of these ladies offer trainings, and they have schedules that you can get signed up for. So feel free to contact them with even more details. Maybe if it comes to that reporting, they will be the experts for you. So some supports and resources. Right here you have an ICAP implementation toolkit draft. It's in draft formation. It is almost finalized, still in that communication process, just making sure we have it grammarized and all of that so that it's ready for you. But you are able to take a look at it right now to see what that consists of. What's really nice about this toolkit is that we call it a cadre of counselors. There were 10 counselors who wrote this toolkit. They took the time and thought of you as educators in mind to want to give you something to help prepare you for ICAP as it gets implemented. So feel free to check out that draft, and once it's finalized, we will get it into your hands. Also, we have our State Department of Ed website information. You can click there. If you ever just go to sde.ok.gov, you can always type in New Skills for Youth in the search engine, hit the go, and you'll find us as well. We do also have, and I've mentioned and kind of showcased as well today, our OK Edge online learning community. So if you want to get connected and start seeing that, you're able to connect that way. And then the last two things, they are coming soon, and I think I evaded to it a little bit as well. We have a Career Ready website. It will be a website that connects to educators, it connects to students all the way from elementary, middle school, high school, and it also connects to business and community. So you will have that, and parents, excuse me, I did not mention parents. So you will have that, and it'll denote it, and that's where you'll find the resources. When these toolkits are finished, they'll be embedded into that website so that you can print those off and have them readily available. And then also I mentioned the Business and Education Partnership Toolkit. One thing after this toolkit is given in your hands is creating those one-pagers so that you can have, the toolkit right now is 102 pages, so I'm working on condensing that because I know that can be very overwhelming. Good stuff in there, but overwhelming. So we want to make sure that you have stuff that's beneficial, not overwhelming, and even some just one-pagers that'll be quick, easy, what you need. I also, I mentioned it earlier, exciting times again. We just, again, started off our ICAP webinar series, but I want to make mention to our archived ICAP webinar series back in March of 2018. These are really good webinars for you to listen to. It's a perspective. We had individuals who were superintendents, coaches, counselors, educators, businesses, family engagement experts just come in and speak to it. And it was nice to hear their perspectives. And so if you watch these webinars, it'll give you a feel to what we're doing again in this webinar series. I want to bring those outside experts, whether they're internal at our agency or outside in the community, to get you plugged in, and even our ICAP pilot district, so that you can hear from firsthand experience, and so that you will hopefully be better equipped on how you implement ICAP within your district or your respective areas. Another way to just always say, stay connected with us. If you didn't receive this on February 14th, Valentine's Day, hope you all had a good one. A newsletter went out. It's our College and Career Readiness newsletter. Hopefully, I think you may have seen this because you registered for this webinar, so that's a good thing. But if you didn't and someone shared the news about this webinar, go ahead and sign up there. That way you'll know when the next webinar is coming, and you'll know about all the updates and when the resources are coming your way about ICAP, and just some good strategies and ways to help you implement it. And then, of course, always follow us on Facebook, and make sure you're connected on that level as well. Also, I want to showcase our archived College and Career Readiness newsletters. So if you didn't get a chance to see the February 14 edition, it is right there for you. It's called A Journey Towards Career Awareness. But you'll see we started these back in January of 2018, and so these are all the newsletters we've had thus far. You will continue to get these once you sign up, and look forward to being connected and staying connected with you on that aspect. I want to highlight our next webinar. Our next webinar will be next month. It'll always be the third Thursday of the month. This webinar will be Thursday, March 21st, 2019. It'll be from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, same time as today. If you'd like to register, you can just click here, and you will see on that WebEx link, it'll have my name. But anytime we have a guest speaker, I will go ahead and make sure it's updated so you can see Chelsea Hunt, Witt, etc., the guest speaker's name. But that one is already ready for you if you want to go ahead and sign up. Our guest presenter will be an internal collaborator, Jennifer Wilkinson. She is the Director of Alternative Education. And so she will be coming and talking about how ICAP aligns with alternative education, and we will touch base on even more topics for you. So if you since we're preparing for that, if you have questions about that, feel free to shoot me an email and say, can we make sure we discuss this? Or even if you want to share comments or emails and say, Chelsea, can you make sure that you try to get someone in this area so we can make sure we hear about this? Whatever you need, let me know, and I will get it so that we can make it happen, so that you can get that knowledge and the awareness that you need out and that is available to you. I just want to share with you our contact information. I know I mentioned you can reach out to me, so that is my email if you need to get a hold of me. This really is the team. We have Dr. Shelley Ellis, who is the Deputy Superintendent, Marissa Lightsey, many of you may know her. She's the Program Manager for New Skills for Youth. And we also have Kristen Ashley, who's the Executive Director of Counseling. So you're always willing and available to reach out to any of us, and we will help you in the best way that we can. But you have that information. And then also the following slides, just to let you know, are just some common definitions. It's about 3 slides, so if you need to know, I say ICAP a lot, or I say ICAP designee, it breaks down really what that is for you. But what I want to do now is, because we are coming to the close, and sometimes we will end early on these webinars, and sometimes we might go a little over. But I want to open this up for any questions that you may have. I believe if you'll just type them in the chat box, I will keep my eye on them and answer what questions you may have. Or if you also have suggestions about future webinars, please let me know as well. So are there any questions? And I will give a moment. It might be a little silence, but I'll give a moment, and then I will conclude us. Okay. Well, if there are no questions at this time, and that's okay, you have my contact information. Sorry, just got a question, so I'll look at it real fast, and then feel free to always email me with any questions you may have. So a question. Sorry, I'm reading. I apologize. Fall under each requirement. Okay, Nicole, thank you so much. I read that. Nicole, if you will shoot me an email, I can send that to you personally. So thank you for that comment. Any other questions, comments, suggestions about webinars? Okay, we have some more. Okay, I got you, Nicole. Okay, we have a question. Carrie, so your question is, how do we show that the class of 2023 has completed the requirements for ICAP? Do we add a note to the transcript? That's a great question, Carrie. So that is what we are having in conversations right now. What does that look like? Will it just be the statement, like you already had the graduation statement on the transcript? Will it be something that the RAOs just say, I've looked through, I printed the reports, or someone printed the reports for me for OK Career Guide and OK College Start, and they just go and put a check mark on it. Right now, this is not set in stone. It looks like it might be leaning towards a statement on the transcript or just a note there. But once we have that solidified, we will definitely let you know. Very good question. Any other questions? You're welcome. Okay, if there are no other questions at this time, don't worry. If I didn't get a chance to answer you, you have my email. Just shoot me an email, and we will go from there. Again, this has been recorded and archived. It'll be on our website. I will also send it to the group immediately once I receive it myself. So thank you again for participating in the first ICAP webinar series of 2019, and we look forward to having you at very many more. So have a good afternoon. Bye.